Hello, Red here, and unfortunately, when I recorded episode 150, it was a bit, the audio turned out a bit bad, so in case of this, I decided to do an over-recording, so everything you hear now is me talking over the facts, over the period in which I recorded. Apologies for that. Episode 152 and 153 will probably not have these issues as long as I check up on it. Anyhow though, we were currently fighting Lithuania for an extra province in the Balkans. Currently moving up troops. We gather Anatolia's and Rus's men. Moving them a bit forward. And as per usual, we're still going to move them up north in the areas in which has lots of attrition. One thing it did decide to do was attack Lepel. I don't think it really helped that much, since he wasn't only an ally in the war, or say a co-helper in the coalition. So it doesn't really count too much when we seize their provinces down. There we go, I'm going to send 17,000 men over there without a commander. Because you don't simply need one when the enemy army is moving in a different direction. Anyhow though, I'll make us unkind, though it doesn't happen. Though it does remain a good diplomat though. Not in diplomacy. There we go. Not as good as our character though. Our character did have a bit of a rush start when it came to building him up. And of course, out of all the three factions that the Byzantine Empire had, the one with elective succession with 87% of the power decided to fight not the independence one, but a lot better chance of doing it. So you know, I'll certainly not accept that, especially since that's one of the easiest ways you can destabilize your entire game if you end up getting elective succession and then you have to keep voting on your heirs. And of course, if the AI thinks the other direction, then you simply get buried under some other new liege. Some people prefer it, I prefer not. I've had several campaigns which I played in the Holy Roman Empire only to fall on my face because I was not elected. Anyhow, since the revolt ended up firing, I might as well make my retinue, or standing retinue, job purely ceremonial. They're going to go out and fight for us. Nobody have enough boats for everyone though. When you have like 70,000 troops, it gets a bit hard to accumulate everyone. Ah, the last days of all the old king. Anyhow, though, this does give an extra wall to old campaign, which also delays the campaign that the one more we're doing. But it is the price of a war, and the price of rebellion. So you had to put all the other war into halt. And if I did decide to go and fight against Lithuania, it would have taken way too long to go send up the troops, finally siege everything down, and we'll be able to win the war quickly enough before the enemy of the Civil War ends up regrouping. And also, I lose the stress trait because of some family member end up helping me. Thankfully, not all the people decide to revolt, especially all the people who I've given land recently to, like Castile, Sicily. Well, that's pretty much it. Castile, Sicily, Aragon. There's not revolt. They'd never use their troops. I'm only going to use strictly the retinue, simply because I have so many troops. And now there we go. 75,000 troops onto 1,000 garrison force. Really will not go your way. Though you do suffer massive attrition though. But I do have 67,000 gold, so it doesn't really matter. Plus it gives my retinue something to do during and after the war. There you go, lost 10,000 men just to attrition. It really become one of your worst nightmares if you play long term for the game. You cannot create death stacks without losing all your men. But I do have to admit, I was going a bit overkill with the retinue. But I have to admit, it was a bit of fun just sending my death stack to go kill everything. Annoyingly enough, the enemy does siege back their land. I don't even bother getting in the third guy. It's not needed. Oh, not the trade port. You dirty git. Anyway, now I'm just going to annihilate the 10,000 men and then you're going to try and reinforce, but it's not happen. If they do reinforce, it will not help them at all. Major problem with AI is that they have to raise all their troops according to what their barons give, or their low tier. And when they do that, they don't use it smartly. They only raise from their low liege capital. So when they do that, well, most of the time, a lot of the vassals raise too far apart, which makes it much easier for a player to simply raise from certain areas that can be more contingent. But you probably don't know that. I've used it plenty of times in this game already. But it's a fairly easy revolt. They don't stand too much of a chance, and that does make me lose a ton of men. Because even though I'm at the coastline, I still have 12 to 14% attrition. So there's all this land in Serbia is not really helping too much. The eyesight not to really structure that well. But there we go, let's go smash that. Let's bait a few armies and then we'll go siege it down. No point to fighting these armies because there's going to be too many to fight. So there we go. Another province down. Zeta falls, and I believe that ends up doing well for the war. Yep, there you go. He ends up surrendering very soon. If I were to siege like 2 more provinces down, at least a province, that would have pretty much ended the war already. But like I said, it made me lose a ton of men. 40,000 just for 1 civil war. That comes out of my checkbook. Like 300 gold a month. Oh, and I still remember. Oh, I forgot about the host wall that came up. But here comes the fun part. So when I mentioned earlier that I was going to go and move a bit of the vassals around, I decided to revoke literally everyone's title that revolted against me. And you get to see what I do after. I cannot focus a second title when I really wanted to. But yes, the Reformation begins in Byzantine Empire. I just cut up a lot of free room for extra vassals just in case, even though it's not really needed. And I'll probably assume that later on, a lot of this land I consolidated will get pushed back to something else because of how the laws go. Because I know the AI really likes to do elective succession. So it's not primogeniture or, you know, first past the post, and it's not going to be consolidated enough. And then it goes back to me. But we have the Despot Croatia, who when revoked. I don't believe I revoke everyone's title though. Poland is going to go. And it is a good thing to consolidate all your kingdoms. I did say before that it's good to... There are pros and cons to both sides. Like if you want to have multiple kings, it makes it much harder for a single person to revolt. And if they're revolting, they cost them much stronger. But on the other hand, if they like you, then that's one gigantic ally you can have. Anyways, this Kingdom of Germany I decided not to revoke because it's simply too powerful as its current state to really be consolidated. If I consolidate it with something else, then I think it's really too strong. And if that person ever just could break off, it could next king of Germany could make the next Holy Roman Empire. I simply cannot have that happen. I don't believe I revoke Hungary either. It's too big. Italy though, making a more unified Italy would be very nice. At least have it organised north to south. Oh my, isn't that border wall just terrifying? Because it's about to get a bit more worse. There you go, everyone's title that I wanted to revoke is revoked. And I start with all the dukes in the Kingdom of Greece. And so I unite all the small islands together. Or at least the 2 big islands in Greece. And go give this land to this guy. Adrianopolis should be a bit stronger this time. I'll make him a triple duke. Yes, there we go. Unite Athens and a small banner having a divided Greece. There you go, more stuff to Athens. Shame though that the Duke of Athens broke off from holding the county in Ireland. Having a nice at least having Ireland available right next to the capital would be nice, troop-wise. Anyway, Bulgaria gets an extra piece of land though. I'm not sure they can really handle being too large. All the king's men, or original king's men, won't be able to hold it too long. So I gave them 2 kingdoms, just in case if one kingdom decides to support his rule, so that if one kingdom decides to just revolt, it's all fine for him. Anyways, I gave France to England because that's amusing. It's a bit more of a very early reconquest of England over France. They're not really, because the Byzantines are ruling it. Alright, we'll give Bohemia to, well, give Italy to Bohemia. At the very least, it makes this spot very eligible to have long-term relations with the Emperor. Because even though I pass away, the relationship bonus that I had with him passes a small percentage on to the next liege, so it'll be fine. And we'll unite Ruthenia and Rus together. Why not? And then Poland, who do I even give it to? I believe I get to Sweden. Just for fun. Yes, there we go. At the very least, if you end up consolidating your realm like that, it helps. It helps very short term, because then all the new consolidated people on top will absolutely like you, all the people at the bottom will not. And if the people at the bottom revolt and gain the kingdom back, then of course they'll just gain more problems because they absolutely hate you for giving away your title in the first place. Only amusing thing though is that a lot of these kingdoms end up switching over to the primary title, like if King of Frisia turned over to the King of Bavaria. Anyhow though, we forgot we had to do this war. It's all for a single province too. What a hassle. The Ruthenian will now give a larger portion of men, of course, since King of Rus now falls under him. No longer we actually have only 5,000 men from each king. A nice 10,000 men. And this is the part when I ransom everyone. A lot of these people won't be able to be ransomed because now, since they are Duke title, they only cost 145 gold instead of having kingship, which costs 250. And unfortunately for a lot of these AI, they spend a lot of the money on war. So it makes it very unprofitable when you capture everyone and they don't have the money for it. And there we go. Got everyone released. I want to. Or can actually pay for it. And here come all the nice little stamps. Cool little stamps over there. It's a nice touch that Crusader Kings II developer team did, adding custom wax stamps. Anyhow, though, believe this wraps us up, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye.